This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not professional advice, whether technical, legal, financial, or otherwise. Viewers should always do their own research before making decisions. Results and outcomes may vary depending on circumstances, market conditions, and future developments. The information discussed here is based on publicly available reports, industry analysis, historical trends, and commentary available at the time of recording. Imagine spending just a few dollars on a simple upgrade and completely changing how a vehicle feels to use every day. No professional required, no complicated tools needed, just a few small changes that can make a huge difference. Strange enough, that idea may explain what's happening with Tesla's newly confirmed 2026 Cybertruck Refresh. Most people expected a dramatic redesign, something expensive, something revolutionary. Instead, Tesla appears to be focusing on a series of surprisingly practical changes that could affect real-world ownership far more than flashy concepts ever could. And one of those changes may answer a question Cybertruck buyers have been asking since day one. Welcome back to Future EV Insider. Today we're diving into the 2026 Cybertruck Refresh, the 8 reported design changes drawing attention across the EV world, the reality behind Tesla's 4680 battery strategy, and why a Cybertruck priced around $59,990 is suddenly becoming one of the most discussed vehicles in the industry. At first glance, the story seems simple. A refreshed truck, a few updates, a slightly different price, but when you look closer, a much bigger pattern starts to emerge. Because sometimes the most important changes are the ones that don't immediately grab headlines. Think about traditional vehicle refreshes. Automakers often spend hundreds of millions of dollars redesigning body panels, changing styling cues, and creating entirely new marketing campaigns. The goal is simple: convince customers that everything is different. But Tesla has often taken a different approach. Instead of waiting years for a complete redesign, the company frequently introduces changes gradually. A manufacturing improvement here, a software enhancement there, a redesigned component hidden beneath the surface. The result is a product that evolves continuously rather than changing all at once. And that brings us to the 2026 Cybertruck Refresh. Reports suggest that Tesla has been refining multiple areas of the truck simultaneously. Some changes appear cosmetic. Others focus on comfort. Several may improve manufacturing efficiency, and a few could significantly impact ownership experience. The first major area involves ride quality. Since launch, Cybertruck owners have praised the vehicle's capabilities while also providing feedback about everyday usability. Tesla's adaptive suspension system was already one of the truck's most advanced features. But ongoing refinement appears aimed at making the vehicle feel more predictable across a wider range of driving conditions. That might sound minor, yet for a truck expected to serve as both a work vehicle and family transportation, comfort matters a lot. The second reported change centers on interior refinement. Early Cybertruck buyers embraced the minimalist approach. However, Tesla continues learning from customer feedback. Small adjustments to materials, storage solutions, and cabin functionality can have an outsized impact on daily satisfaction. These are the kinds of updates many drivers notice every single day. Not once, every day. Third comes software integration. This may be the least visible change and potentially the most important. Modern vehicles increasingly function like rolling computers. Tesla's strength has never been limited to hardware. The company's advantage often comes from connecting hardware and software into a unified system. As software capabilities expand, vehicle value can evolve long after purchase. That idea was once unusual. Today, it's becoming a defining feature of the EV industry. The fourth area involves manufacturing efficiency. This is where things get especially interesting. Historically, automotive companies relied on thousands of individual components assembled through complex processes. Tesla has repeatedly challenged that model. Gigacastings, integrated structures, simplified assembly systems. The goal is not merely building vehicles faster. The goal is reducing complexity, because every unnecessary component introduces cost. Every additional step introduces time, and every inefficiency eventually affects pricing. This leads directly to one of the biggest discussions surrounding the refresh, the reported price point, around $59,990. For years, analysts debated whether Tesla could continue lowering costs while maintaining performance expectations. Now, the conversation is shifting from whether it's possible to how it's being achieved. And that brings us to the fifth major topic, the 4680 battery. Perhaps no technology has generated more discussion within Tesla's ecosystem than this battery format. When first introduced, expectations were enormous. Some observers predicted immediate breakthroughs across every metric imaginable. Reality turned out to be more complicated, and in many ways, more interesting. Innovation rarely follows a straight line. History shows that major industrial advances often require years of iteration. The steam engine evolved gradually. Commercial aviation evolved gradually. Computing evolved gradually. Battery technology follows the same pattern. The 46 Synchronicity 80 cell was designed with multiple objectives: manufacturing efficiency, cost reduction, structural integration, energy performance, production scalability. Achieving all those goals simultaneously is an enormous challenge. That's why the so-called reality check matters. Rather than viewing battery development as a single dramatic breakthrough, industry observers increasingly see it as a long-term optimization process. Each improvement compounds over time. A small gain in manufacturing yield, a small gain in energy density, a small gain in production speed. Together, those gains can create significant advantages. This is often overlooked because people naturally focus on headline numbers: range, horsepower, acceleration. But behind every headline statistic lies a complex network of engineering decisions, and many of those decisions happen far from public view. The sixth reported design change appears connected to efficiency improvements, reducing weight, improving aerodynamics, optimizing energy use. These adjustments may seem incremental, yet incremental improvements frequently produce meaningful real-world results, especially when combined. The seventh area involves durability enhancements. One reason trucks occupy a unique position in the automotive market is the expectation of long-term reliability. Owners expect vehicles to withstand years of use, different climates, different road conditions, different workloads. Continuous refinement helps manufacturers address issues identified through real-world operation. This process isn't unique to Tesla. It's common throughout engineering history. Products improve when companies learn from actual usage. The eighth reported change may involve ownership convenience, features that reduce friction, features that simplify interaction, features that make the vehicle easier to live with. These improvements rarely dominate headlines, yet they often become customer favorites, because convenience compounds. A small improvement experienced hundreds of times becomes a major advantage. To understand why all this matters, it helps to look at history. Automotive development has always followed a fascinating pattern. Early vehicles focused simply on functioning. Then attention shifted toward reliability, then efficiency, then comfort, then digital integration. Every generation solves one set of problems while creating new opportunities. The Cybertruck represents a particularly interesting chapter because it combines multiple transitions at once: electric propulsion, software-defined functionality, advanced manufacturing, battery innovation, and changing consumer expectations. That combination creates challenges, but it also creates opportunities. From a scientific perspective, many of the improvements being discussed involve optimization rather than invention. Optimization may sound less exciting. In reality, it often delivers greater impact. Consider a physical process. Even small reductions in energy loss can improve efficiency. Even small reductions in manufacturing complexity can lower costs. Even small improvements in materials can increase durability. Engineering progress frequently comes from accumulating many small wins, not one giant leap. That helps explain why the refresher has attracted so much attention. The conversation isn't just about 8 design changes, it's about what those changes represent. A vehicle moving from early adoption toward broader acceptance. A product becoming more refined. A manufacturing system becoming more mature. Naturally, questions remain. How much will these changes affect real-world ownership? How significant are the battery improvements? How quickly can production scale? Those answers will emerge over time. But the broader trend is already visible. The EV market continues evolving rapidly. Competition continues increasing. Consumer expectations continue rising. And companies that successfully balance innovation with affordability may gain significant advantages. There's also an economic lesson hidden within this story. Consumers often assume expensive solutions automatically deliver the greatest value. Yet many industries demonstrate the opposite. Sometimes value comes from simplification. Sometimes it comes from efficiency. Sometimes it comes from removing unnecessary complexity. That principle appears throughout technology history. Products become more accessible when production improves. Costs decline when processes mature. Capabilities expand when systems integrate effectively. The Cybertruck Refresh may reflect exactly that kind of transition, not a complete reinvention, a refinement. And refinement can be incredibly powerful. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder: this discussion is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing presented here should be considered technical, financial, legal, or purchasing advice. Future vehicle specifications, pricing, availability, and performance may change. There's no guarantee that reported updates will affect every user in the same way. Anyone considering a vehicle purchase should conduct independent research, review official information, and evaluate their own needs carefully. Viewers remain responsible for their own decisions and should approach any technology-related claims with appropriate caution and due diligence. The biggest takeaway may not be any single design change. It may be the broader pattern. Innovation often arrives through accumulation, small improvements, better processes, more efficient systems, refined execution. Those developments rarely generate the loudest headlines, yet they frequently shape the future more than anyone expects. And that's exactly why the 2026 Cybertruck Refresh is worth watching. If this helped you understand something new, share it with others who might find this useful. And if you enjoy exploring the future of transportation, emerging technology, and the stories behind industry-changing innovations, subscribe for more educational content. Subscribe to Future EV Insider for more future technology stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.